Coming up on today's Wild West, we'll saddle up at the team roping capital of the world, Wickenburg, Arizona. We'll take you riding at the historic KL Bar Guest Ranch.
It's been super fun. We're definitely coming back.
The horse knows more than we ever will about what works and what doesn't work on his back.
You'll see how fine custom saddles are made at Stoney Saddlery, plus the beautiful buffalo horn art of Lakota artist Kevin Pourier. It's all next
Right out there.
on today's Wild West.
Oh, sweet.
The Wild West. It's still out there. And we'll show you how to find it. This is today's Wild West. Horseback, immersed in the timeless beauty of the Sonoran Desert. Outside Wickenburg, Arizona.
You look the right way, it probably doesn't look a whole lot different than when Geronimo was here.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a harsh and rugged land.
It's a lethal beauty. You know this place could kill you.
Yet teeming with life, most notably those magnificent, towering, and somewhat mysterious saguaro cactus that have stood watch over this sun-baked land for countless generations.
You know, when you see those ribs on them, Mark, those ribs are so when a heavy stiff wind comes in, they don't get a hit straight. Them ribs will cut that wind up and actually shoot it up in the air. And on a windy day, when you get close to one of them, you can hear them hum.
This soothing escape in the saddle is courtesy of the KL Bar Guest Ranch, a place that doesn't look much different than it did 100 years ago.
This is just gorgeous.
A ranch that 21st century guests are rediscovering, often for the very first time.
Breakfast bell rings, you know, it's time to eat. Come and you sit down and you talk with everybody, people you never met. I enjoy it.
This is our first Dude Ranch experience.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's fun, really fun.
It's probably what people imagine when they think about a dude ranch.
Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the KL Bar was one of Arizona's very first dude ranches. 18-year-old Romaine Loudermilk named the outfit after his mother when he founded what began as a working cattle ranch in 1909, becoming a full-time guest ranch in 1926.
He was 17 years old and he wanted this spot on the Haciampa River, and he wasn't old enough yet to homestead, so he came out and camped on it to make sure nobody took his spot. And as soon as he was 18, he went and homesteaded the ranch, and then later, with help, built this, to me, amazing lodge.
KL Bar guests still gather in the beautiful historic adobe lodge he built with a big stone fireplace, ceiling beams made of old telegraph poles, and wagon wheel chandeliers that all lend to the historic Western ambiance of this most unique and authentic ranch.
This is a dude ranch that looks and feels not all that different than it probably did 100 years ago.
I haven't looked at a screen in forever. Yeah, I love that. It's been super fun. We're definitely coming back.
It's a quiet, intimate ranch that takes just a couple dozen guests at a time, where it's easy to make new friends over family-style meals in the dining room or outside on the patio. This peaceful oasis makes you feel like you're in remote country. But you're just 5 minutes from downtown Wickenburg, home to at least 3 saddle makers, a custom hat shop, the world-class Desert Caballeros Western Museum, and a cowboy town known during the winter as the team roping capital of the world. More on that later in the program. Horses are the heart of the KL Bar,
The horses have been the best part.
and there's lots of room to ride on seemingly unlimited miles of trails through vast areas of unspoiled Arizona desert.
And this ranch is next to all kinds of interesting riding, slot canyons, and they go up on these mesas, and you know, it's classic Arizona with the saguaros in the mountains.
And I love it. You stay with the same horse the whole time. So like me and Denver, this is my buddy. We've bonded a lot. You have Paco.
Sounds like you've had a little fun.
Yes. Yeah. Not a little, a lot.
A saguaro cactus will be at least 70 years old when it gets its first arm.
The beautiful Sonoran Desert is rich in history and full of life, and KL Bar's wranglers love to share their insights along the trail.
The fruit that grows is delicious.
And the Native Americans would actually take the inner stems from a dead saguaro, lash them together, and make a little fork basket at the top to pluck the fruit off of the living.
It's a magnificent place to ride. One reason why Wickenburg was once known as the dude ranch capital of the world.
And there was dozens of dude ranches, and this is probably the only one left that is actually authentic to the original way the dude ranches were operated. You know, the small scale, the family atmosphere.
It's kind of quiet. We like the smaller numbers and the individual attention. You know, like today was just a priceless experience with Emily.
Hey, there, perfect.
Good job, Jeremiah. Good boy.
Now, number 8, you're going to look at
Emily is Emily Hodges, a champion in the equestrian sport known as cattle sorting.
Watch their eyes. Watch the cow's eyes, because when the cows start looking, wherever they're looking is where they're thinking of going. So,
And a former horsemanship instructor at the prestigious Thatcher School in Ojai, California.
there you go. You're going to get a double.
She is a great teacher.
A large majority of our guests have never been on a horse before, never been around a horse. So I use a lot of those same lessons. I teach it here to the guests.
And getting to do this with the cows, this is a great experience. Wow. Thank you, Jeremiah. And a lot of fun, not to be on the trails, to be able to actually put a lot of what, you know, you're learning into practice.
Say good boy, Walter.
Good boy, Walter.
Emily manages the ranch with her husband Kyle, with help from their cute little daughter Jillian, a star attraction of the KL bar, along with her good friend Walter the donkey.
It's definitely, I would say, the most photographed animal on this outfit. And you always like to stand right in front of that sign, so it's perfect.
Come sunrise,
Come on, Frank.
Kyle offers another treat
Peregrines are the most widespread falcon on the planet.
you wouldn't expect to find at a dude ranch: falconry.
This is a Gyr Peregrine hybrid. His name is Frank.
Mornings before breakfast, the professional falconer gives guests a look at the fascinating world of these birds of prey. Kyle owns about half a dozen. He uses a remote control airplane towing bait to exercise and train his falcons. Whoa.
That was so cool.
Very fast.
The fastest animal on the planet.
You never get to see a falcon in the wild hunt like this. Pretty spectacular thing to see. It's fun to share.
Got your finger, there you go.
There are still more new experiences.
There you go.
Was that your first shot ever?
Yeah.
First shot ever with the rifle.
job.
You can shoot 10 if you want.
Lots of new
It was
experiences.
a new experience. A lot of them. A lot in a few days, yeah.
Cool.
But it's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle's also the ranch rifle range instructor, where you can learn to shoot a lever action .22.
There you go.
A cowboy-style pistol,
Pull.
Nice.
Woohoo!
and even do a little skeet shooting.
First time ever at a dude ranch, though, huh?
First time ever. Gonna be my last, yeah. This is a great place.
Riding a horse, soaking in the scenery, making new friends. The simple pleasures of the KL bar, a living time capsule of a bygone era, and a soothing escape this generation may need more than ever before. Welcome to the team roping capital of the world. Every winter, thousands of team ropers from all over the U.S., Canada, and beyond flock to Wickenburg, Arizona to spend the cold months of the year riding and roping. Team roping.
I'm semi-retired and roping's what I like to do.
Charles Riley is here from Oklahoma for the 4th year in a row.
Well, right now at home it's like 19 degrees and here today it's different, but most of the time it's in the 70s.
Team roping is a two-person sport. One rider ropes the horns, the other the heels, and the fastest time wins. And you can win some cool stuff, like trophy saddles and pickup trucks.
Last year, during our 20 and 21 season, we paid out over $10 million to the winners.
But as you hear over and over again, the best part of it all are the people.
The people that you're with.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're great people, team ropers.
Like 84-year-old Earl Higgins, who's been roping since he was 12.
Pretty fun, pretty challenging. That's what I was going to say.
Or these teenage cowboys, growing up in Wickenburg.
Oh, I've been roping since I was 7.
Do all the kids rope here? A lot of them?
Oh, yeah. Except for that one. Yeah, no, he doesn't rope at all. I rope better than
No matter how old you are, no matter how long you've been riding, there's a chance for everyone. So it's a handicap, so you can always, whether you're a 3 or you're a pro, there's going to be a roping for you somewhere.
With all those competitors, the ropings are run like a finely tuned machine. One team of riders takes off in hot pursuit of a cow, and before they've even finished, the next team moves into position with another cow ready to run when the chute flies open. All this action is happening at Rancho Rio, a 55-acre complex that's home to 2 big arenas, an RV park, 400 horse stalls, and much more.
About 500 teams of ropers will compete here on this particular Saturday, and this is just one of 6 roping arenas holding competitions within 15 minutes of here.
Everybody loves it here.
Rancho Rio is like its own little town, where you can get a haircut, do a little shopping,
I like the atmosphere and the camaraderie.
or visit with Jeannie Benson, here from Montana for the winter with her Pony Express collection.
It's not just a sport, it's more of a lifestyle for the people that are here.
This all got started kind of organically.
So in Wickenburg, it's been going on for several years where people were coming here, they were spending their winters, bringing their horses, and they were roping.
Rancho Rio was built in 2013, home base of the National Team Roping Tour. But roping in this part of Arizona got started long before that.
The first occupation in this town was a roper, guy trying to catch a wild horse, and then when he caught a horse, then he'd go catch wild cattle. Right here in Wickenburg. That was 150 years ago. It's a good place to be.
And from the looks of this crowd, they'll be roping for many years to come. If you want to be a team roper, you need a good saddle. You'll meet the man who builds them just ahead.
And you can see how this is. I'm putting a new horn on this saddle.
Welcome to Stoney Saddlery in downtown Wickenburg.
And I started building saddles in the mid-70s.
Today, Jim Stone has quite the reputation in the custom saddle world.
So now, how long should it take to make an average saddle?
Understood. You don't make average saddles.
Never have. I have a lot of saddles that's been up there to the NFR in Vegas, and barrel racing and team roping and bulldogging. This is your back housing that fits on here.
He has a 2-year waiting list for orders, even though his basic custom saddle, similar to this one, starts at $5,000.
This is just a nice little ranch type saddle.
And by looking at the photos of his work,
there's my 1,000 saddle.
It's clear he's not known for making basic saddles.
This is 1,000. This is my steer roping saddle. So this is a little barrel racing saddle.
Back in the 1970s, Jim knew nothing about building saddles. He was a ranch hand.
Do a little bit like this for you to show it. And we were doing corn harvest, and it's colder than heck, and it was old trucks with no doors and freezing my butt off. I had a friend whose dad was a shop foreman in West Palm Beach, Florida. He said, well, come on down here, I'll get you a job. And went to work in a saddle shop and been doing it ever since. This is a little 14-inch seat one.
His saddle making journey took him to other parts of the country.
Learned a lot of different ways in different places and different regions.
New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas.
I was in Texas for a long time, made a lot of cutting saddles down there.
And always learning along the way.
And that gives you what I call a toolbox. Like anything else, the more tools you have in your toolbox, the more things that you can do and do them very well. But a pad goes in here like this, and then we're going to have a piece of exotic leather that will fit over this. And it's just a really neat, sharp look.
But his best teacher have been the horses he rides, as a top competitor in the rodeo sport of steer roping.
Not how somebody taught you, not how you learned, it's how your horse and your event that you're doing teaches you what works and what doesn't work. The horse knows more than we ever will about what works and what doesn't work on his back.
Building a saddle starts with a good foundation, what's known as a tree.
This is your frame. The bottom of this fits the horse and the top of it fits the rider,
which Stone custom orders for each horse.
So when it comes to the bottom, it's these bars. They have to be at a set of specs that will accommodate the fit of the horse.
In my humble opinion, a well-made saddle is fine craftsmanship. What have you enjoyed most about what you do?
Getting paid.
But don't dare call Jim a craftsman.
No, sir. I am not a craftsman. I'm a businessman. Every business in the world is about supply and demand, isn't it? I have the only Stoney saddles that you can get in the whole US of A. Nobody else can do a Stoney saddle.
And don't ask him to fix your shoes.
What about your motorcycle seat and your wife's purse? Not going to happen in this lifetime.
He will repair your saddle and fix other horse gear.
Repair is like owning a tire shop.
Please.
You just kind of ambush people, don't you?
Yes, she does.
You make your money selling tires, but you still have to fix the flats. But it builds up good loyalty. You do a good job on that at a good price, and they're going to come back for more.
Steers are coming out of the 3-turn chute this morning.
And with the many affluent team ropers who flock to Wickenburg for the winter,
I can go out and look at their horses if they want. I do a ton of that here.
He's in the perfect place to meet people in the market and with the means to buy a custom saddle.
They spent their whole life getting by. Now they want to enjoy the fruits of their labors. So they want some nicer things. And that's one of the reasons I have the apparel and clothing and the tech that I have. It's nicer stuff. Your sheepskin, it should be good and free flowing. You should never have knots in it.
But what keeps the door open is the reputation of this self-described businessman.
The saddles I made 10 years ago aren't as good as they are now.
Who's very good at the business of making saddles.
And hopefully 10 years from now, they'll be better yet.
It's like my ancestors were the buffalo gave so that they could live.
Up next, the amazing buffalo horn art of Lakota artist Kevin Pourier. The American bison, better known as the buffalo. The vast herds that once roamed the West were the foundation of the way of life for the Cheyenne, Lakota, and other Plains Indian tribes. And for Lakota artist Kevin Pourier, they still are.
It's like my ancestors were the buffalo gave so that they could live. I really feel like that's what's happening today with me and my family.
Pourier transforms rugged buffalo horns into stunning works of art. Earrings, jewelry, belts, and ornately decorated horns and buffalo horn spoons.
Atomic Lakota, and all the colors are inlaid stones and shells.
Native people once used the buffalo horn for spoons and other items, and while Kevin is inspired by his Lakota heritage, like this piece featuring the Great Chief's sitting bull, his envelope-pushing work is anything but traditional.
I'm not living in a teepee. I'm a contemporary 21st century Lakota man. And so I'm telling my own story.
Kevin has quite a story.
I was so lost. I was lost in the alcohol and drug addictions where I just couldn't take it anymore and I had to quit or die, you know. And
freed from addiction, he was about 30 when friends introduced him to the art of carving.
They were carving with elk antler, but he said, I'm doing this. Eventually do something of your own. And so I tried a piece of buffalo horn.
And his now clear mind began focusing on his native heritage.
I knew I was Lakota, but I didn't know really what that meant. I didn't grow up with those ways.
Kevin began participating in Lakota ceremonies and making jewelry, selling his work at powwows and other events, and discovered his creations were an instant hit.
I'd won a second place ribbon and won $200. And at that time, $200 was what it took me for a whole week of work in the factory.
Pourier soon left his job at a factory and moved to his father's ranch on South Dakota's Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, where he helped with the cattle, set up a studio, and created art.
And from going to these local shows, we would have curators who were really impressed with our work, and they would be judging these local shows. And we got invited to Phoenix.
That show at Arizona's prestigious Herb Museum led to an invitation to the Santa Fe Indian Market, the top show for Native artists in North America, where in 2018 he won Best of Show, the top prize, for Wiawanakiksheen, meaning Women Defenders of Others, a belt featuring images of 8 influential Native women carved on pieces of buffalo horn.
Artists, activists, grassroots women, and these are women all beloved by their communities who were doing it out of their hearts.
That work was later purchased for display at the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian, one of a number of major museums that owns and displays Kevin's work.
Our work has been shown in Paris, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. We pinch ourselves to that this is really happening.
Much of Kevin's work is simply beautiful. Jewelry, bolo ties, decorative art, but he's not shy about using his platform as an artist to speak up about issues he cares about.
I mean, life is short. I want to be one of those people that have something to say.
Like this piece he did on his so-called mixed blood ancestry of French and Lakota.
One little girl asked me, she said, "How does that make you feel?"
Illustrating how a person with roots in both worlds can sometimes feel like they belong to neither.
To communicate an awareness with other people with something I made was really fulfilling as an artist.
Kevin says the Lakota were known as the people of the buffalo, who used every part of that animal. This 21st century Lakota man carries on that tradition in new ways.
I almost died from that lifestyle that I was living, and a lot of our people still are. And if I can inspire a young person from the reservation to be an artist, that's what I want to do, even if it's one or two people.
That's it for now. We're back next time with more cool stuff from today's Wild West. I'm Mark Bedore. We'll see you down the trail. For more information on the people and places featured in today's Wild West, or to order show DVDs and books, visit todayswildwest.com. Funding for Today's Wild West provided by the Leggett Foundation,